My name is Ayla, and I am 30 years old. I never thought I would be the kind of woman who would sit down and tell a story like this. But sometimes life forces you to speak when your heart is drowning in silence. It all started 3 years ago when I met Zion. He walked into my life like a gentle breeze, soft and warm. I was at my lowest point, struggling with work, family pressure, and a deep feeling of loneliness. But when he looked at me, really looked at me, it felt like someone had finally seen my soul. I still remember the way he smiled that day. It was not loud or flashy. It was calm, like peace. He said, "You look like someone who carries the whole world in her eyes." And just like that, I fell. He was kind. He listened. He made me feel like I mattered. And for someone like me, who had always been ignored, that meant everything. Within a few months, we were inseparable. Morning texts, late night calls, surprise dinners. Zion made me feel like the most important person in the world. My friends used to joke, "Ayla, you are glowing." And I was, because I thought I had finally found the man who would never hurt me. He proposed on a rainy evening. He took my hands, looked into my eyes, and whispered, "Ayla, I cannot imagine a life without you." Tears rolled down my cheeks. I said, "Yes," without thinking twice. Our wedding was simple, but beautiful. My heart felt full that day. I remember whispering to myself, "This is what love feels like. This is forever." In the beginning, everything felt perfect. He made me breakfast, kissed my forehead before leaving for work, and always said, "I love you," even during the smallest moments. We would dance in the kitchen, watch movies under a shared blanket, fall asleep with our hands still touching. I called him my safe place. He called me his heart. It felt like God had finally blessed me with the love I had prayed for my whole life. But sometimes life is cruel. Sometimes what looks like love is just a mask hiding a monster underneath. There were little things at first. He would come home late. He stopped smiling the same way. And worst of all, he stopped looking at me like I was still his heart. I asked him, "Zion, is everything okay?" He would smile and say, "Just tired, Ayla. You worry too much." But my heart knew. One night, I was folding laundry when I found a small piece of paper in his jacket pocket. It had a name, a phone number, and a lipstick mark. My hands started to shake. My breath felt heavy. I stood there, frozen, staring at the paper that would soon begin to unravel my life. Still, I hoped. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he still loved me. But deep down, something inside me broke that night. Something whispered, "Ayla, your world is about to fall apart." I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But most of all, I wanted to be wrong. Because I loved him. And love makes you blind. That night, after finding the note in Zion's jacket, I could not sleep. I lay in bed, pretending to be calm, while my heart screamed. Every little sound made me flinch. I could hear the tick-tock of the clock louder than ever. It felt like time was mocking me, like it knew something I did not. Zion came home late again. I watched him quietly. His smile seemed forced. His eyes never met mine. And when he said, "How was your day, Ayla?" it sounded empty, like a line from a script. I wanted to ask him about the note. I wanted to scream, "Who is SHE?" But I stayed silent because a part of me was still hoping, desperately, that I was wrong. The next day, I could not take it anymore. When Zion left for work, I took his old phone from the drawer. It was the one he stopped using months ago. He said it was broken, but I remembered he had never thrown it away. My hands were shaking as I turned it on. It took a few seconds to light up, and what I saw changed everything. There were messages, so many messages, from a woman named Nadia. She called him baby. She said she missed him. She sent pictures. He replied with hearts. He told her things he used to tell me. The same words, the same lies. "I miss your smile. You are the only one who understands me. I wish I could wake up next to you every day." My world stopped. I felt like I could not breathe. My chest was heavy. My eyes filled with tears. But I could not cry. It was a pain too deep, too raw. I kept scrolling, hoping there would be some explanation, some sign that this was all fake. But no, there were months and months of messages, dates, photos, laughter, even a video of them on a weekend getaway. During the same weekend, he told me he was away on a work trip. I clutched the phone to my chest and screamed. I screamed so loud it scared even me. Why? Why did you do this to me? I had given him everything. My love, my trust, my heart. And he had thrown it all away like it meant nothing. I sat on the floor, shaking, my tears falling onto the screen. His face smiled back at me from the messages. That same smile I once loved now felt like a knife. When he came home that evening, I did not say a word. He walked in, took off his coat, and said, "What's for dinner?" I stood in silence, holding the phone. He looked at me and froze. "What's that, Ayla?" he asked. I walked toward him slowly. My hands were trembling, but my voice was steady. "I found out, Zion. I know everything." His face turned pale. His eyes widened. He tried to speak, but I raised my hand to stop him. "Do not lie to me. Not now. Not after this." He opened his mouth, then closed it again. There was nothing he could say, because the truth was already there, in those messages in my broken heart. He looked down and whispered, "Ayla, I never meant to hurt you." I laughed, a cold, painful laugh. "You never meant to hurt me? Then why did you do it? Why did you lie to me every day?" He had no answer. In that moment, I realized the man I loved, the man I trusted, was a stranger. My marriage was built on lies, and I was just a character in the story he told to hide his double life. I turned around and walked away. My world had shattered, and I had no idea how to put the pieces back together. I locked myself in the bedroom. Outside, I could hear Zion pacing the living room, talking to himself, maybe even crying. But I did not care. Not anymore. I sat on the bed, holding a photo frame from our wedding day. We looked so happy, so full of dreams. How could he do this to me? I whispered. I remembered every promise he made on that day. I will love you forever. I will never hurt you. I will be your home. Lies. Every word. A lie. That night, I stared at the ceiling until the morning sun came through the window. I had not slept. My pillow was wet from all the tears. But I knew I could not stay silent anymore. I picked up my phone and called my sister, Mina. She lived in another city, but she had always been there for me. As soon as she heard my voice, she knew something was wrong. Ayla, what happened? Are you okay? I broke down. Between sobs, I told her everything. The messages, the other woman, the broken trust. She listened quietly, and when I was done, she said, "Come to me, right now. You do not have to stay there." Her words felt like a hand reaching into my darkness. But I was afraid. What will people say, Mina? What if they blame me? She replied, "Who cares about people? You are not the one who did wrong." He did. For the first time, I felt seen. I packed a small bag, just a few clothes and my diary. I left my wedding ring on the table. Zion saw me at the door. "Ayla, please, do not go like this. Let me explain." I looked at him. For a moment, I searched his face, hoping for the man I once loved. But he was gone. "You made your choice, Zion," I said, "and now I am making mine." He reached out to touch my hand, but I stepped back. "Do not. You lost that right." I walked away, my heart breaking with every step. The taxi ride to Mina's house felt long. I stared out the window, thinking about everything. Our first date, the nights we laughed, the plans we made. All gone. When I reached her home, Mina opened the door and pulled me into a tight hug. "You are safe now," she said softly. And for the first time in days, I felt a small sense of peace. That night, I sat with her and shared my pain. She cried with me, held my hand, told me I was strong. But I did not feel strong. I felt broken, used, lost. Still, somewhere deep inside, a tiny voice whispered, "This is not the end." I knew the road ahead would not be easy. There would be days when I would miss him, nights when I would cry again, moments when I would doubt myself. But I had made a choice to choose me, to walk away from lies, to protect my heart, to start again, even if I did not know how. And that choice was the beginning of something new. I woke up to the smell of coffee. Mina had made breakfast, and she greeted me with a soft smile. "Good morning, Ayla," she said. "You need to eat something." I nodded. I had not eaten properly in days. My stomach felt empty, just like my heart. As I sat at the table, I looked around her small apartment. It was warm, cozy, safe, so different from the cold silence of the house I had just left behind. After breakfast, Mina handed me a journal. "Write," she said, "even if it is messy, even if it hurts, just write." So I did. I opened to the first page and wrote, "My name is Ayla, and I am trying to survive." The words poured out of me like a storm. I wrote about the betrayal, the sleepless nights, the broken trust. I wrote about how I felt like a fool, like I was not enough. But as I kept writing, something changed. I began to remember the woman I was before Zion, the girl who loved to dance in the rain, the woman who dreamed of starting her own business, the one who believed in kindness, in strength in herself. Where had SHE gone? That night, I stood in front of the mirror. My face looked tired, eyes still swollen from crying. But I saw something else, too. I saw a spark, a small one, but it was there. You are still here, I whispered to my reflection. The next morning, Mina surprised me again. I signed you up for an art class. She said, just try it. I almost said no, but I heard that tiny voice inside again, telling me to say yes. So I went. At first, I felt awkward, out of place, but as I picked up a brush and dipped it into color, something shifted. The colors danced across the canvas. Red, blue, yellow. It did not matter what I was painting. What mattered was I felt alive. For 2 hours, I forgot the pain. I forgot Zion. I remembered me. After class, I walked outside and looked up at the sky. The sun was setting. The clouds were glowing gold and orange. For the first time in a long time, I smiled. When I returned home, Mina was waiting with 2 cups of tea. We sat on the balcony, wrapped in warm blankets. Do you think I will ever be happy again? I asked her. She looked at me and said, not only will you be happy, Ayla, you will be free. I held those words close to my heart because deep down I knew she was right. Zion had broken my trust. He had destroyed the life we built together. But he could not destroy my spirit. I was still standing. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I had lost something precious. But I was not broken. I was learning to breathe again, to smile again, to live again, one small step at a time. That night, before going to bed, I opened my journal and wrote, I am not who I used to be, but maybe, just maybe, I am becoming someone stronger. And with that, I turned off the light. The pain was still there, but so was hope. One quiet morning, as I was sipping tea on Mina's balcony, I heard the doorbell ring. Mina opened the door and returned with an envelope. Ayla, this is for you, she said, handing it to me. My heart skipped a beat. The envelope had no name, no return address, only one word written in black ink, AYLA. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a letter. The handwriting was familiar, too familiar. It was from Zion. I froze. Part of me wanted to tear it up, burn it, forget everything. But another part of me needed to know. I slowly unfolded the paper and began to read. Ayla, I do not know how to start this. I have no excuse for what I did. I broke your heart. I betrayed your trust. And I destroyed the one person who ever loved me truly. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Tears welled up in my eyes. When you left, I realized what I had lost. Not just a wife, not just a partner, but my home, my peace, my heart. I gripped the paper tightly. My heart was racing. She meant nothing to me. I know that does not make it better. I know I lost the right to ask anything of you. But if you ever find space in your heart to forgive, please know that I will never stop being sorry. You are stronger than you know, and you deserve the kind of love that never breaks you. If that love is not me, then I hope you find it one day. Truly. Zion. I sat there, silent. My chest felt heavy. My head was spinning. Why now? Why did he choose to write this after everything? I stood up, went into the kitchen, and placed the letter in the drawer. I did not tear it. I did not reply. I just let it sit there. For the first time, I realized something. I did not need his apology. I did not need him to validate my pain. I had already started healing without him. I walked back to the balcony. Mina looked at me, her eyes full of concern. "Are you okay?" she asked gently. I nodded slowly. "Yes, I think I finally am." That night, I dreamed of a version of me who was free, a version who danced, who laughed, who chased her dreams without fear. And when I woke up the next morning, I made a decision. I enrolled in a design course I had always wanted to take. I began looking for a small place of my own. And most importantly, I forgave myself. Not Zion. Not yet. Maybe never. But me. I forgave myself for not seeing the signs, for loving too deeply, for breaking apart. I had carried so much guilt, so much shame, but it was never mine to carry. That evening, I lit a candle, sat down with my journal, and wrote, "This is not the end of my story. This is my rebirth." I looked out at the stars, feeling something I had not felt in a long time. Peace. Zion's letter may have stirred the past, but it no longer controlled me. I was walking forward now, not looking back. I was not just healing. I was blooming, and nothing could stop me.